Hey, I'm DaveQ. We're going to be installing this Leviton Dimmer Switch. So currently we have these lights that are up here. They're lights in the shower, and they're a bit bright first thing in the morning. So we have a dimmer switch. We're going to be replacing the switch right here. So if you're putting two of these next to one another, these little pieces here, basically it gets a little warm, and so it helps the heat kind of get off of it. And so every one of these that you take off, it lowers the amount of total watts that you can connect to the dimmer. Most situations, if you're doing less than, let's say, probably 8 lights, you're free to take those off. But basically, if I'm putting two of these right next to one another, I'll take off whatever one is in the middle that's sitting next to it. Other than that, I'm going to leave them on. We have basically 3 of them are for basically hot wires and then 1 ground. So we want to make sure we do this correctly. So one of these wires is basically set up for a 3-way switch, which we don't need. So we're going to end up capping it off and then connect the other 2 wires. So every one of these is different, so I look them up every single time. So we're going to look it up. I'm going to explain to you what they are, and according to their directions, and then we're going to connect it. This red and white wire says it's for 3-way. So we're going to go ahead and basically, these ones here, it's like a stranded, but they put some stuff on it to make it solid. So they basically soldered the end. So we can basically use a pushing connector, just push it right on there, and we're just not going to use that one. We're going to put pushing connectors on the rest of these, so that way it's all prepped for when we take this apart. So we're getting all this ready before we even take this apart. This one's a bit long, and it's going to stick out, so we're going to cut it. We don't care if the ground's long. Let's go ahead and grab a tool here. And right about there. So if the wire happens to stick out and it's a hot wire, it can bump into the ground wires in there that don't have anything on them to protect them, and we don't want that to happen. So anyways, these are all prepped and they're ready for the other wires to be stabbed in. So we're going to go ahead and take this apart. Now, you don't have to turn the power off yet. So we're going to go ahead and take the cover plate off. You don't have to turn the power off yet. And I frequently, on these, won't turn the power off until the switch is loose and I know what my hot wire is. So if I don't know what my hot wire is, I'm going to have to come right back and turn it back on. Awesome. All right, so we got this out. So one of these is hot, so we're going to go ahead and turn it off and turn on our tester. This is a south wire tester. It's 100 to 600 volts. That one's hot, this one's not. And when we flip the switch on, it makes it hot. So this one is our switch leg. So we just needed to know what one was what. So I like to put a piece of tape around the hot one. So that way, when I pull these apart, I know what's what. It's just almost like a little flag for me to say, hey, this one's hot. So that's where that goes. We're going to go ahead and unscrew the ground first. We're going to go ahead and do this hot, just because, and hopefully I don't shock myself, and if I do, then maybe it'll be more entertaining. So this is generally where I would turn the power off, if I was going to. So we're going to loosen this, and we don't loosen it all the way, we just loosen it to where basically it stops. And then if I was going to toss this switch in the garbage, I would loosen it all the way and just be done with it. So this one's loose, and so we're going to go ahead and get these other ones out. So the easiest way, this is called back wiring, where you stab it into the back. And so we can just rotate the switch while pulling on it lightly, or a little bit more, and then it comes right out. So that's the back wire. So we need to straighten this. For some reason, this one looks really sketchy, and straightening it looks like we damaged the wire, which we definitely didn't. Then I would just cut it behind there. We got plenty of wire here. These should be fine to just stab right in there. So here's our, we're gonna go ahead and connect these. We're gonna go ahead and get these guys connected. So let's make sure the switch is off. All right, switch is in the off position. Let's go ahead and get our hot. So this is our line coming in. We're connecting that with, believe it or not, the one we marked as our line. So we're gonna go ahead and push that in here. Hopefully this is visible for you. So we went ahead and just push that in, and we can see that both of these are going to the end. Hopefully you can see that. If not, if you happen to do it. And you can use twist connectors as well. So now we're going to connect the red side. The red and white one is for our 3-way. So we got this one connected, and then we have our ground. And so yeah, we literally just push these in here. If you happen to be using 12 wire, this will work for 12 wire as well, to just push them in there. So those are all connected. We're gonna go ahead and push it all in the box. The main thing when you're folding wire into a box is there's screws that are for the other switch here. And what I don't want to do is have my ground wire end up hitting those. So something you will notice on these is the back of this is pretty large. So if I get in a situation where I'm having trouble moving it in, I'll just take the back of my screwdriver and just shove it in there. Anyways, basically it. We're gonna make sure this fits in here how we want it to before we attach screws. It does. I'll go and point something out here. There's a little nut piece here on the bottom. When this is all the way dimmed, you want it to wherever the lowest dimming point is. Sometimes when this is all, this little piece here, I'll just rotate it up for you. It kind of has a plus and a minus on here. We're gonna put it as low as we can where the light just comes on. And so that's basically our lowest setting when it's all the way dimmed. And then we can rotate this up and it gets as bright as, it'll get to full brightness basically. So some lights when it's all the way down won't actually be on, and so we'll have to bump it up a little bit. So this looks like we're good to go here. So we're gonna grab our 2 screws. And if I had to use wire nuts, I would use these little twister ones made by Ideal. They're a better wire nut than the yellow ones that come with it. So I want it just a little bit loose to where I can wiggle it a little bit, just a hair. I don't think I need to take these tabs off. If I screwed up and need to take them off, I will, but generally you don't have to take the tabs off unless you have 2 dimmers next to each other. So the reason I left them both a little bit loose is so that when I put this cover on, I can wiggle it around until it fits on there. If the screws were tightened down all the way, I won't be able to do that. All right, so yeah, light works and dims. We are good to go. So that is it.